Bahala Na. Is there such a thing? Yeah. Embracing our power.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm keeping track of time that way to give opportunity for others later. But I just wanted to say that I'm really, really honored to talk about positive Bahala Na in front of this amazing audience of strong Filipino women, because I think that this will make a difference for everyone. And I've presented this with non-Filipinos and Filipinos alike, and it's received several awards. And originally I actually have a PowerPoint presentation, but I'm embracing positive Bahala Na, so I decided that I'm not going to use a PowerPoint this time, because I've studied this for a couple of years for my dissertation, and I feel like everything that I want to share is inside me, and that's what I'm going to do right now, is to just make it more of like a heart-to-heart conversation. So just by raise of hand, who has heard of the expression Bahala Na? So a majority did, so that's really good. But for the sake of the ones that aren't familiar with this, Bahala Na is from the root word Bahala Na, which translates to living it up to Bathala, or god of the settlers in the Philippines, in the Philippine Islands, prior to the arrival of the Spaniards. So this was actually a practice that was preached by Babaylan, which is what I believe is the predecessor of the Filipino Women's Network. These are strong female leaders, spiritual leaders in the Philippines, and they are the ones that are counseling the community. So they're the first psychologists, and they're whenever I think that they were spreading Bahala Na before, or telling people to live it up to God, I feel like I'm connecting with them, and it's a gift that they've given to us. But then I am very aware that Bahala Na has a very negative connotation in this day and age, and this is actually, according to my research, is uncommon. It's not uncommon for countries that have been colonized. This is shared by different countries such as Latin America and Africa, wherein the scholars, which are usually from the colonizers, when they study the colonized people, they attribute negative values to what their practices are. And so when I went to school, I actually learned that Bahala Na is bad, is associated with irresponsibility, laziness, effort withdrawal, or like you're just like throwing caution to the wind, like you're going to gamble all your life savings. But so I took it upon myself to really uncover what is it about. So I did my study with international Filipino athletes, because I feel like these are the type of people that we want to emulate. And according to my research, Filipinos hardly ever use Bahala Na in a negative way. It's only for things that don't matter. For instance, if you're going to a party, if you don't know if you're going to make it because you're feeling lazy, Bahala Na. But not for things that that have a lot of bearing. And most of the time, we don't usually behave different from our personality. So if we're a responsible person, when we engage in the Bahala Na attitude or behavior, it's usually with purpose or responsibly. We're not just going to be like engaging Bahala Na irresponsibly, because it's going to be inconsistent with our personality. So I found out other positive effects that Bahala Na, or engaging in Bahala Na, gives to Filipinos, and I just wanted to share it because it actually outweighs the negative. One of it is that Bahala Na has a positive effect of facilitating behavior. So for instance, if you're in a situation where you have to make a quick decision and more deliberation is not going to help you come up with a better solution, you just say Bahala Na and make a move. Because usually when you start acting or you start the motion, you come across with a solution afterwards. So it's better to just keep moving forward as opposed to being paralyzed by being indecisive. And just like going with what you know inside you would be a better decision, and then just sticking to it. And that's actually a very helpful thing in our day and age right now, where we have to always make quick decisions, quick, bold decisions. And then another thing too that's positive about Bahala Na is that it is a coping mechanism for situations that are outside of our control. And this is shared by all of the subjects that participated in my study. They all said that Bahala Na helps them with situations that they can't really plan for. And most of the time, things like this happen in our country, in the Philippines. We're always plagued by natural disasters. You can plan ahead of time, but it doesn't really leave us with much choice in the end. And we just need to be very flexible and adaptive and really use our improvisatory abilities at that point. And whether you actually utter Bahala Na or just engage in a behavior wherein you're just like taking risk or just like just going with the flow because you're stuck in a very difficult situation, it is actually positive Bahala Na. Because these are times when I'm sure that some of the successful women here have faced adversity, and you feel like even if you can just do your best, but there's actually no sign or like it's going to be ever successful, but you still kept going. And then sometimes you find out that just by continuously engaging and taking a risk that you end up succeeding. And that is what positive Bahala Na is. And actually, it's amazing that one of our speakers a while ago, our panelists a while ago, said, she just sometimes says Bahala Na, and she's a very successful woman. And that is what positive Bahala Na is. And historically, we time and again show, or sometimes when I speak to my mom, she just like says, Bahala Na in our conversation. She just says it at least once a day, where she utters Bahala Na, because it is very much part of our culture, and we shouldn't feel guilty when we engage in this behavior, because it is what helps us get through those stressful situations. And historically, one of my heroes is the late President Corazon Aquino, and she ran our country in a difficult time, and she didn't really have any political background that much. But she just used everything, all the strength that she had inside her, and she also improvised along the way and learned from as much people and asked for help, and she was able to run her country as a strong Filipino. And that is what I think positive Bahala Na is. So just to end, I just want everyone to take away from this talk is that embrace your Bahala Na, whatever that means for you, whether it's being stuck in a situation that doesn't really have a positive outcome, but continuously going because you believe that it's right and because you believe that your hard work will pay off in the end. So I'm going to be around for the rest of the summit. If you're interested to get more information about positive Bahala Na, I'm ready to share you some of my resources, my research in Bahala Na. And